What we know about the Trump assassination attempt and the suspect. Trump said in a post on Truth Social that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. Former President Donald Trump was shot during a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. He was immediately shielded and taken to safety after his ear was injured. Details are emerging about how it happened and the identity of the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20. President Joe Biden delivered an address from the Oval Office Sunday night and said he was grateful Trump was not seriously hurt. Here's what we know. Where did it happen? The shooting took place at a presidential campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, a city in the western part of the state, about 35 miles north of Pittsburgh. What happened? About 6 minutes into Trump's speech, the former president could be seen clutching his ear after popping noises rang out over the rally. Trump ducked to the ground as several Secret Service agents rushed to the stage and surrounded him on all sides. There were screams from onlookers as the scene unfolded. Roughly a minute later, agents helped Trump get up from the ground and stand. He held up his fist to the crowd, prompting cheers from supporters. Several agents then rushed him off the stage and escorted him into a vehicle. Blood could be seen on Trump's ear and on the side of his face. He later said on his social media site, Truth Social, that a bullet pierced the upper part of my right ear. According to preliminary reports, which could change as the crime scene is processed, 8 shots were fired by the shooter, an official said. Donald Trump said he was shot at a rally Saturday. J.Puska/app. Trump was talking about President Joe Biden's policies on immigration when shots were fired. Was anyone else hurt? 1 spectator died and 2 others were critically wounded, Pennsylvania State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens said. The man who died was 50-year-old former firefighter Corey Comparator, Pennsylvania Gov. Josh Shapiro said Sunday. He said that Comparator, who he called a hero, moved to protect his wife and 2 daughters when gunshots were heard at the rally. The 2 people who were wounded were David Dutch, 57, of New Kensington, Pennsylvania, and James Copenhaver, 74, of Moon Township, Pennsylvania. Both are being treated at Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh and are listed as being in stable condition. Witnesses described hearing loud popping noises, with one person saying they saw someone who was shot in the back of the head and another person who said she saw someone bleeding profusely. None of the injured included police officers, Bivens said. Rep. Ronnie Jackson, Texas, said in a statement that his nephew was injured in the shooting. Jackson said that his family was seated near Trump and that after they heard shots, his nephew realized something had grazed and cut his neck. He said his nephew's injury was not serious and he is doing well. Was it an assassination attempt, which agencies are investigating? Law enforcement is investigating the incident as an assassination attempt. This evening, we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump, said Kevin Rojek, special agent in charge of FBI's Pittsburgh field office. The FBI, which is leading the investigation, said Sunday the shooting is investigating it as an act of domestic terrorism. The agency is working alongside the Secret Service and state and local law enforcement. In the aftermath of the shooting, the FBI deployed investigative agents, bomb technicians, and evidence response personnel. Follow live updates on the Trump rally shooting. Rojek asked that witnesses to the shooting contact the FBI. The House of Representatives will also be investigating the shooting, and Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, earlier said his committee would be investigating. Police snipers returned fire after shots were fired while Donald Trump was speaking at the rally. J.Puska/app. Who is the shooter? What was the motive? The shooter is dead, the Secret Service confirmed on X. The FBI identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. The predominantly white, relatively well-to-do city is south of Greater Pittsburgh. We do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly to attempt to identify what that motive was, Rojek said. A senior law enforcement official directly briefed on the matter said the nature of the shooting suggests political ideology as motive, but that there's nothing definitive known at the time. Crooks used a semi-automatic rifle based on what was found at the scene, 3 senior law enforcement officials said. FBI officials said that the weapon he used is believed to have been bought by his father, though they don't have any additional information right now of how he got it. The shooter was part of an area gun club, the Clareton Sportsman's Club. At its range in Clareton, the club has for skeet shooting, high-power rifle exercises, and archery practice. The FBI sent Crooks' phone to a lab to try to gain access to it, officials said. Voter records from Pennsylvania listed a person with the same name, address, and birth date as a registered Republican. He did not have any affiliation with the U.S. military, according to the Department of Defense. It was not known whether the shooter was acting alone or in coordination with others. There does not appear to be any evidence currently that the shooting had any link to a foreign actor, according to a U.S. official. Where was the shooter? Did the shooter get past security? Shots were fired from outside the security perimeter established by the Secret Service, 3 senior law enforcement officials told NEC News.